Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Enhanced Holistically Tarot and Life Advice. My name is Tamika, and thank you so much for tuning in on today or this evening. For those that are tuning in for the very first time, welcome. Thank you so much. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And for my current subscribers, thank you so much for your love and support. And thank you so much for the comments. Shout out to Brittany Lane for her comments on the last video. So I just want to give a disclaimer first and foremost. This will be a little bit of a lengthy video because I feel like there's a lot to be shared. And I hope that we can have a good, healthy dialogue in the comment section because I truly feel like there is a level of calling in our soul tribe and just kind of getting some connection, some fellowship with what we're all probably experiencing right now. As we already know, we're in the middle of a Mercury retrograde. We had the eclipse happening, full moon. We had a lot of things going on. A lot of us are feeling like we are probably like caught up in between realms right now, and I feel like that's purposed. But I'm just here to kind of shed a little bit of light on what I've gathered for myself in my times of reflection and meditation and ponderance, and then also maybe go into drawing some cards here in a second. So the first thing is reflection. I know that we hear this a lot, and I feel like it's very important for us always to kind of check in with ourselves, check in with our spirits, our ancestors, our guides, because a lot of things that we think that we're supposed to be doing in certain time frames, we may not be. It might not be called for us to do in certain time frames. In other ways of reflection, we just need to check in and make sure that we are tuned in, tapped in, turned on, so to speak. So I had a lot of contemplations over the last couple of days, and I've come to realize first and foremost that it's very important. Hear me. I'm a holistic healer, licensed massage therapist, advanced practice registered nurse, and the list goes on and on and on. But even with all those titles, we all succumb. We're no exemption to the frequencies and the shifts that go on. And we do have our own set of concerns and contemplations and decisions to make, and making the best decision for self. Like, sometimes we miss the bull's eye as well. Let's face it, nobody's above anybody, but we're all on a journey, period, right? So one of the things I was feeling with this shift was at a point in time, I was feeling like the only thing I could like it to was when your heartbeat is going like this, when you have a ear dysrhythmia, your heart is going like this, called AFib or A-flutter in the medical nursing world. And a lot of us are probably experiencing that kind of energy right now. I know in particular, the last couple of days, I had not been able to really get settled, rest, and even when it came to trying to meditate, I had a lot of mind chatter. And I think I'm pretty good in my discipline, but it was just like this was out of the ordinary. And so I feel like there's a leveling up on different levels for different people, no matter where you are in your spirituality, no matter where you are in your life cycle, no matter where you are as far as your relationship dynamics. Every one of us are going through some type of shifting. We always are going through shifting, as we should, because if we're not growing again, we're stagnant, we're dead, basically. So I had a lot of that. And if anyone is having these type of energies, please feel free to comment. I wanted to be very transparent because I feel like sometimes when you come online, some people put, holistic healers or tarot readers or whatever. They kind of put us up there as being the guru, so to speak. Nobody is like I said, above this reflection, above this shift, because we're all growing at different ways and different directions, right? So that was the first thing. And it's very important to know that as we level up, it's like a growing pain. And some of this stuff I'm going to regurgitate from my conversations with two of my good girlfriends because I realized how pertinent it was for me to share so that people can identify and resonate and know that they are not in it alone. As much as we continuously hear that, when the rubber meets the road, some of us feel like we are in it alone, no matter if we know it or not. It's like for that moment of time, we feel like we're the only one crying ourselves to sleep. We're the only one going through this chatterbox conversation dialogue in our head. Like we got two things sitting on our shoulders and we're trying to figure out which one to listen to, or trying to make decisions in the best light with probably very minimal resources, right? So I just wanted to be transparent and share. Like I said, the disclaimer is this is probably going to be a little bit lengthy because I am going to add some cards into here. But I just want to just kind of put this out there so we can open up a dialogue. The other thing I was really feeling was finding your soul tribe. So in the Christian faith, you have church and you have fellowships or whatever. And one card I kept drawing was like, get into a community, a tribe of like-minded individuals. Not to say, because I feel like fellowship is important, and no matter what your religious faith belief practice is, you do need it is good, I should say, to connect yourself with a group of people that are striving and trying to grow in the same direction, which is be the best version of ourselves, and respecting our differences and respecting our uniqueness and having other perspectives and being able to have healthy disagreements, right? And so those are some of the things that your soul tribe will give to you. I have a lot of friends that are also what I would call conscious or awakened, or not go against the grain a little bit of what we consider to be the status quo, or the social acceptance, or the norm, as we speak, as we say, whatever norm is, which there is no norm, but that's another topic for another day. But just being able to connect on that level, so that when we start feeling these leveling up feelings, then we're able to, like, what, someone is going to go on a nature walk with me and be able to put these things in perspective. Spirit might drop some things in them that maybe right now I'm not sound in my hearing, spiritual hearing, physical, spiritual sight, you know what I'm saying, heartfelt, whatever, that we'll be able to exchange, you know what I'm saying, and bounce off each other, so that we can have that genuine love, authentic support in this different type of world that we're living in, right? Because there's so many things thriving for our attention. Yes, not more for us than anybody else, but we just got to figure out a way to mitigate that. So I was thinking about that and starting to when you say starting a community, people start thinking about cults and stuff. So I want to stay away from that. I just want to say that if you have someone or people that you're able to have these gatherings of exchange of positivity, love, good aura, good vibrations, you know what I'm saying? And you're able to kind of like thrive in that. If you have that, if you don't have that, I would seek for that, because I feel like there are more people around us that may have the same thoughts and feelings than maybe they want to care to let out to others. So that's that. Another point I had down here, and I'm looking at my notes if you see me looking down, because I didn't want to forget. I had so much going on in my head. I was like, let me just write it down. Um, Being clear on our goals, ensuring our intentions and our actions are aligned with making whatever it is that we want to manifest. Let it manifest to the fullest. Okay. I dare to say that sometimes when we set our intentions, we have to first look at our posture and position of self and where we are. And it's almost like the blessing that you have to be ready to receive and be able to manage. And so that's what I'm saying. A lot of us set a lot of intentions, but we seldom set the action towards the intention, and those two go hand in hand. It's almost like having thoughts and dreams but not actualizing it. It's kind of like the seven of cups, where you got all these different um vases with everything kind of like put in there, but not bringing it down into your reality. So just keeping in mind that our actions towards what it is that we want to see and our intentions, that they align to the fullest. And sometimes that calls for us to really, again, go back, reflect, and evaluate. It's almost like when people say that I want to be rich, right? But they're not financially responsible. That's the clearest thing example I could think of right this second. So just making sure that, we're doing all those things to align ourselves, because one will have to ask, if it's not me, is the divine timing present? And if it's the divine timing present, do I have all parties working towards this manifestation present? It's like ingredients having to come together and make the perfect cake. You feel what I'm saying? So hope y'all are digging me on that. The other thing I really feel is minimizing and clearing clutter in every aspect. Am I talking about clearing out your closet, cleaning out your drawers? Yeah, yeah. That's one aspect of it. But the other aspects are, we we are still healing from a lot. And no matter how spiritual and how high we get, the encounters and the potential of still being hurt, still being misunderstood, still being thrown off by a scenario or situation unexpected, having a tower moment, in other words, um, clearing it out. You know what I'm saying? Clearing that out. Not saying we can't get what we want in the midst of in the midst of on our journey towards healing or what have you, but it's just like really taking a look at that, minimizing, um, downsizing. Okay, this is something that's been very heavy, not heavy in a bad way, but just been in the background of everything else I've been kind of like thinking about and pondering. And when I say downsizing, exploring the roots and the why of why we want what we want. Um, and there's nothing wrong with wanting things, but I think that we need to look at, but why? Put a why to it. Nothing wrong with it. Who's going to tell us that we're wrong to want something specific to us and desire things? We're supposed to. But at the same time, we have to examine the motives or the intentions behind why we want what we want. Um, with that, I put here that we want certain tangible things, and you have to ask yourself, am I compensating, or is our ego overruling what our spirit is leaning towards? Does that make sense? I'm gonna break it down in here in a second, but going back to the alignment, and we hear this a lot, but it's heard a lot and it's said a lot, because there is a formula to what it is we're saying we want, especially if in your mind and in your heart, if I had this one thing, this would change the trajectory of every other thing, or this would make my life just so grand. First of all, I'm going to say we need to check that, because when we start getting into that mindset, that means we're operating in some type of lack, as if we won't be happy ever without that one thing. That is a trick, and I think that subconsciously we all feel like that is going to be the key that unlocks everything for me. And I would dare to say that no one thing is going to unlock anything, because we have to have, first of all, the mindset before we actually see it. We got to see it before we see it, I always say. um Priorities. Priorities. I feel like right now we are being called to evaluate our priorities, and going back to the why of why we want certain things, why do we want to obtain certain things. Not saying again that you're not deserving of those desires, but I feel like sometimes we have to look at our ego and see if it's overcompensating for some things. Excuse me. And see if we're overcompensating for some things. And be honest about if we are, honestly. From the least to the greatest, to the most spiritual, to the new awakener. We all have to question, because our ego can be out of balance. It serves its purpose. Yes, it's supposed to protect us. But sometimes we have let this ego of ours become this shell that gets away from us. It becomes this kind of like a algae or a mold that gets out of control. I don't know if that's a good example, but you know what I'm saying. So anyway, just thinking about that and examining our ego. One thing I had to really sit with these couple of days is about the ego specifically. While it serves its purpose, when it's overactive or underactive, you lose your power. Um, Looking at some videos and just looking up specific things to kind of help me just come to grips with the rhythm of my thoughts and my feelings and my emotions and my spirit and all that. And it talked about, I heard a couple of videos, it talked about how when you people that give up their power are less successful at doing what it is they optimally want to do. And I was like, damn. I think I keep hearing spirit say it's time out for the mediocrity. It's time out. I talked with my sister earlier about how when you start to elevate, I'm not gonna call it a curse, in a curse in a sense of it's a curse, but I'm like it's a blessing. And then you got that flip side, because as much as we see that it's good in the spirit, we also see the people, the auras, the energies for what they really are, and not all of them are glistening. Not all of them are sparkling. Not all of them are rainbows and butterflies, as we say. And it's like shit. And some of that enlightenment and that revelation comes, and it hurts because when you start to see those changes and you start to awaken here, when this third eye chakra, and then you start to be like, damn, um, you can feel it in your solar plexus. You can feel it all over. And some people are, I feel like some of us are hurt because now that we can finally see things for what they really are, after being blinded for so long, even with some people, even your family, you like, damn. And I'm gonna tell you again, from the least to the greatest, you will mourn that. You'll mourn it not because you don't want to accept it, but because you have to accept it. It's like when you first get that first taste of something and you be like, every time you go back to that same restaurant trying to find that same dish, it probably will never taste like that first time again. Because they might have switched some things up. They might have not measured every single ingredient. They just going off the dome. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just thinking about that. Along the lines of downsizing, don't get me wrong. It's nice to have wonderful things. It's nice to have nice things. But sometimes I feel like we're trying to be in some type of some subconscious competition. I can't say it no other way because I'll get whooped. But subconscious competition. I feel like I feel like there were certain things that's happened, i.e., COVID, that was a real wake up call. Do I really need this? Or if the world was to come to an end, I ain't gonna say come to an end, that's a bit extreme, but if the world was to get upside down like it was during COVID, something similar, and we gotta leave with certain things, do we got a whole lot of shit to move? A whole lot of stuff to move, a whole lot of things that would shock us into perspective. Not talking about just household furniture, I'm talking about everything. Mindset change. This download is a wake up call. Mindset change. steadily we're all growing again. But we that are claiming to be awakened and conscious and not questioning anybody on any of that. But I'm just saying, if you feel like you name yourself in those components, categories, whatever, if you put that, not label, but if you put that stamp in any kind of form, shape, or fashion, it's just like, wake up, wake up. See things, see people, see situations for what they truly are, and make the adjustment. All of us fall to the mirage, but make the adjustment. It's not too late to make the adjustment. And I don't know. I just been feeling like I kind of want to be a minimalist. Yeah, tangible minimalist. Like, do we really need all this stuff that we have? Not really. It's nice to see, it's nice to have, it's nice to enjoy, and I'm not knocking any of that. But just gotta question some. We just gotta make sure we're on the right track with the ego, and trying to understand if we're compensating for something. Because what I see the ego is like the lacquer of a oyster and how we make pearls. Like, this oyster can produce enough substance to begin to harden, and that's what becomes the oyster. But I see it as like the ego starting out, and then you just keep building and building and building on it to the point of when you become hardened, you really trick yourself into thinking that this is the good of the whole. This is what it's supposed to be, and it's like, no, it's time to break some of this shit away. It's time to break it away. That's why we're so exhausted. Um, Other thing I talked about, I don't have it written down, but I do remember. The other thing I talked about was the frequencies that's going on right now. Beware of the distractions and align your frequency. And I liken what's going on with a lot of us right now is we're leveling up, but we feel like we're going through a bit of growing pains. You know how when you start going into the gym, when you first go the first couple of times, you out of shape, you sore until you start building that muscle, eating all the right things to build that muscle. And it's like almost like in the spirit, our spirituality and our mindset and our heart chakra and everything aligning. It's like the frequencies are shifting so fast for some of us. I'm telling you, it feel like you'll come out of your skin. Like real talk. You'll feel like you're coming out of your skin. You feel like you're about to explode. And if you're not grounded to hear the subtleties and see the synchronicities, you'll continue to feel like, am I really going crazy? Like, what the hell is going on? And I'm telling you, kind of been feeling like that. I'm sharing right now. I've been feeling like that. I've been feeling like there's another level that I'm trying to kind of adjust out, this frequency, this new frequency that's coming upon us, and it's kind of like rocking our world a little bit. But it's okay because we're growing, and we have to find the management in our process. We do, and for everybody, it's going to be different. It's okay though, as long as we getting there. As long as we're getting there. Um, you know, having a heart to heart with my king, my husband, and one night just laying in bed, just crying in gratitude, but also crying in a little bit of vulnerability of some things that we may be kind of like dealing with inwardly, crying in the fact that we support one another through those challenges and hardships, even if we're not able to always verbalize it. Because I'm in tune with him and he's in tune with me, sometimes words don't really need to be said. And then having the foresight of implementing all I've just said, and learning and growing and expanding. and knowing that it's all good. It's all good. You know that song by Kelly Price, she said, "Count it all joy." It's an old song in the Christian church that say that too. And that's serious. That's serious. Okay. Yeah, that was 25 minutes of me sharing those things, but I really felt like I needed it, and I hope that it's blessed someone. I hope that with me saying all of that, just a little bit I have said, that it's helped in some kind of way. And please do like, share, and subscribe to this channel because it's going to get better. I said in a couple videos ago, we not own a Similac no more. Mm-mm. We're growing beyond that, because if we're growing, that means some of the things that we use by way of metaphysics, we got to step it up. We got to get in that university of spirit. Okay. Even the way we teach our kids, y'all, because we don't want them to be, we don't want them to get everything we got coming up. Some of that shit was just frivolous, honestly. Some of it is not even worth regurgitating. We got to teach them different because they're so much wiser and they're so much more influential than maybe we were. And they got so much more against them, honestly, too. So we got to be careful. We got to seek spirit on even that, raising these young minds. So yeah, I just saw the card self acceptance. I wasn't quite finished shuffling, but in a sense, that's what this kind of boils down to as well. Learning that self acceptance, appreciating where you are in your process, and don't be afraid to so called disappoint the masses, whoever that might be, and understanding that it's okay, because in order for you to be the best version of yourself, you got to let it all out, and they're going to have to respect you for it. Love you or leave you alone. Come downstairs. Come downstairs. I'm sorry, I'm talking to my dog. She's Diamond. Come downstairs. Come. I'm sorry. She might even come over here. I don't want to, but I'm sorry. But that's real. I have a dog and she goes everywhere when I don't want her to sometimes. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get into it. We're gonna free for all this reading. I ain't gonna have like, I feel like anything that comes out is gonna relate to what I've already talked about and said. So y'all just hold on, right? Please don't forget to comment. If you would like a personal reading, please email me, inbox me or something. Let me know. I'd be happy to do it. All right. So let's go ahead. Spirit guide, angels, ancestors, and divine, thank you so much for your words. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your message of encouragement, foresight, insight for oversight. Thank you. Ashe, ashe. And thank you for all of the things that is needed. Healing. Yes. Talked about healing, right? Talked about how we are, sometimes our ego carries over like that lacquer of that oyster. And it's hard to break through that barrier once it's formed. But I feel like we need to get back to the core of things, bring it back to the middle, so to speak. And in a lot of ways, a lot of us are healing. Healing from, yeah, regular hurt, relationship hurt, definitely. But some of us are also healing about disappointments of ourselves and trying to heal ourselves and trying to forgive ourselves, more importantly. I feel like spirit is just like it's kind of depicted here. Like, want you to rest in knowing that you good. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody has it all together 100% of the time. We got all kinds of different things, and you find yourself adjusting to so many things. Like, so many things come up. Some subtle, some grand. You know what I'm saying? But we're adjusting to so many different things, and sometimes how we deal with things, we don't give ourselves enough slack, and sometimes we don't give others enough slack. Surrender and release. Like, surrender and release. This is hand in hand with the healing. With the surrender and this release, just with this illustration here, it's funny how she's holding on to this vase so tightly, not even realizing that the water is gushing out the side. That's how we are. That's how some of us are. If you're looking at this, it's not by accident. It's like release. It's kind of like the other meanings of the Four of Cups. You got it, but in some ways you're feeling a level of lack. Like if I don't open my if I open my hand, it's just gonna slip through. I'm gonna lose it. And some of you are like that with even relationships. If this resonates, cool. If it don't force it. But some of you are feeling like I'm not letting this go because if I let this go, there might not be another. And then you start going down this gamut of components of why it couldn't be another. But for the most part, I feel like this has been probably a lot of us in some aspect, holding on to something, whether it be a thought, an idea, a behavior, a mindset, a feeling, whatever the case may be. Some of people not verbalizing their truth. My throat chakra just started kind of getting clogged there a little bit. Surrendering and releasing. And some of us need to, I'm not going to say have a conversation for conversation's sake, but should the opportunity arise for certain conversations within certain relationships, that your throat chakra needs to be open, not overactive, but right there. That would help surrender, release, and that definitely would help healing. Okay. Thank you. Divine guidance. Man, can't say enough. This is, of course, what we're all trying to tap into so that we can get through and to and through these other energies of healing and surrender and release and reflection and management in this journey. I'm gonna tell you though, you gotta love it though. You gotta love it. You're not one of the, you gotta congratulate. If you don't congratulate yourself on anything else, you can congratulate yourself on the fact that you're not settling and just moving along with everybody because they're moving in the same direction too. Somebody asked me something. I want to say it was in reference to the vaccine, and no knock about anyone that's gotten it. I haven't gotten it. I'm not feeling led to get it yet. If I get it at all, it's my decision to make for my own personal reasons. But people forget about resignation. Like, you don't do everything just because everybody else is doing it. You don't have to feel and have the same views about everything because we used to say that to our children. We used to be like, if Billy's on the mountain and he jumps off and you're gonna jump off too. All of us have heard that, but people have omitted the fact that there's a feeling and a connection within that is your compass, not with everything else is going. I ain't talking about breaking no laws and no shit like that. I'm just saying, like, the simplest things people want to waver you on. And when you start to elevate and you start to expand, like, you looking at them like they're two types of crazy. You like, are you for real right now? Are you serious right now? And because you can't even fathom, like, when you can understand, you can relate, but you like, nah. So when this individual asked me, I think it was about the vaccine. Why didn't you get it? It's my personal choice not to get it right now, if I get it at all. Oh, well, I think you should get it. I think, no, I don't think I should get shit. I think I should follow what my spirit says to do. Because I'm not speaking about the whole situation because whoever got it, whoever don't get it, don't get it. It don't make me no never mind. But for me, right now, I have my own personal feelings about it. It's like people expect for you to throw your own personal beliefs and feelings out the window because the status quo or the law or the mandate. Some of the stuff that's going on right now, it's unfreaking believable. People are getting discriminated against because they get a chance or they want to exercise their personal rights not to do something. It's crazy. It's crazy to me. But you know what? Hindsight, at one point in time, we was where they were. And we all had to get there. So I try to be very patient with people that are unknowing about the power that they do have. Because I know at one point in time, somebody was probably looking at me like, what the hell are you thinking about? What are you thinking about? So I try to have patience. I don't have to succumb to their ignorance, but I try to understand that everybody's somewhere different. And that's okay. That's okay. I don't want to be the person that deters them and be a damn vigilante, trying to prove my point at the top of my voice. I'm trying to disagree maturely. And that comes along with growth as well. We can disagree and still be mature and still not lose our shit, not be ratchet. You know what I mean? Okay, thank you. That's enough of that. Two cards came out. Ooh, both are water. One says celebration, a wedding, a graduation announcement, a birth announcement. Need to have more fun though. So there could be a celebration on the horizon for some of you. And then the other card is the Five of Water, Five of Cups. It says things are not turning out the way you'd hope, not seeing the positive in a situation and crying over spilled milk. So it's almost like you probably could have an opportunity here to get the to find the silver lining. And to me, when I think about this Three of Water, I feel like it's almost like gratitude. Yeah, it says wedding, graduation, birth announcement. Those are all tangible occasions that, yeah, everybody's mostly happy for. But I feel like in this instance, in this energy that I'm feeling, I feel like the Three of Water is like even having a heart of gratitude. Because the opposite of gratitude is feeling like things ain't going my way. And everything ain't always going to go the way you want it to when you want it to go. Not everything. Not everything. Because sometimes I feel like sometimes we are all unpleasing beings, and we just have to check that, and that goes back to what the ego. But this Five of Water is like, I don't think that we should look at this as a bad card. I feel like when we see the Five of Cups, we should look at it as an opportunity for growth or reset or, like I said, reflect. Because when we start crying over spilled milk and regret of some sort, then there goes. We're holding on. We're not surrendering and releasing. We're not healing. And we're definitely not listening to the divine guidance that we're getting that's presented to us. We're not looking at those the way as clear as we should. We're not hearing as clear as we should. So, with the three, I feel like there is a level of, yeah, we can throw the tantrum because something's not going our way, but at the same time, look back at the gratitude because the gratitude will keep you grounded. Because I'm gonna tell you, every time I thought I had something going on, and then up comes a situation with someone else, I'm like, you know what? I mean, and everybody's different. Not to measure or put hierarchy on anybody's struggles or triumphs, but it's just like it just makes you just go within and just try to find the sweet spot, so to speak. Try to find that sweet spot. Thank you. A lot of feelings and emotions going on with a lot of cups here. Seven of water, seven of cups. Um, not procrastinating, going back to aligning your intentions with your actions. That is the recipe for the manifestation right there. So I feel again like going back and making sure that we reevaluate, reprioritize, pulling those things down that we're seeing, that we're intending, using our magic, our power, our knowledge, our wherewithal, and opening up to some more knowledge, research, whatever the case may be, right? So just going back and doing that. And if you're feeling like, I feel like, I feel like sometimes when we don't make a decision, that's a decision in and of itself. And the seven of water is like no longer where you keep having these different vases going on up here. You need to bring that down. What is it that we need to do? What do we need to do? Not what we waiting on somebody else to do. What do we need to do in this present time just to contribute to the overall of what we want to accomplish? Draw a couple more cards and then we're going to be done. The Ten of Fire. The Ten of Wands. Finding balance. Overburden. Stressing. And stressing leading to health concerns. This right here, not finding balance in a situation, not wanting to accept help. Why? Because the ego is in the way. Not wanting to be vulnerable. Not saying you gotta be vulnerable with everybody, but yeah, some of us are so hard. It's like, whoa. Some women are so hard right now. It's like, am I? The man is like, am I with a man or a woman? Guilty, but learning. I think the organization of where I come from professionally had kind of taught me that, and even some of you that are in the corporate world. Okay, this is the Fool card, the dreamer. This person here is taking a leap of faith and following their dreams. I feel like unexpected opportunities are here for us in many ways, in really in many ways. I just feel like we have to start looking more through our spiritual eyes and feeling more of what the next steps are than looking at someone else or going with the status quo. Like I said, follow your dreams without judgment, without worrying about disappointment. Easier said than done, but yes, let that be another muscle to be worked in all of us on some level. On some level. I feel too that to say that sometimes when you're in this energy of following your dreams, that you can expect for the person that is going along with the status quo and doing all things that they feel the system has called them to do, to get promoted, to check a block, to be liked, to have a click, today, you can expect the naysayers to come out the woodwork. Yeah. I had to feel like the lady to say that because some of us feel like we hold ourselves back because we don't want anyone looking at us like, how dare you quit your job and start a business doing how dare you? Your journey is not our journey. It's not. And some of us are being called to start all over again. The Fool card is 0. Start all over again. Reset everything. I feel like sometimes familiar things don't look familiar anymore for a reason, because that's what's going to make you grow. The process that you used before ain't gonna work this time. The strategies that you used before, maybe some in some aspects they'll work, but it ain't gonna work. You ain't gonna be able to apply it the exact same way. And I feel like with the dreamer or the fool is going back to ground zero. Wipe it clean. And this is why some of us are probably entering into tower moments right now. It's not a bad thing. It's to make us reprogram ourselves and reset our minds. We got the 8 of Fire here, the 8 of Wands. I feel like after we get to this point, and only we will know when we are ready for that next level, then things will pick up. And trust you me, guess what? You're going to have to set some time apart again to reflect. Thank you. To reflect, reboot, regroup, reevaluate, all of that, all over again, or in some aspect. We got the Magician here. All the resources that we need to heal, surrender, release, and to hear from Spirit. That is our resource, our divine guidance. But all of what we need to get to what we're talking about this evening is already there for us. Already there for us. Right? So it's just it is what it is, so to speak. I'm gonna draw 3 cards from this deck here. And this is kind of gonna just close out the reading. I told you it's gonna be a little bit lengthy, so you may have to play it and stop it and come back to it. But I didn't want to be recording all these different parts while I was getting what I was getting. I wanted to just kind of flow in that because it's me. It was me to me. The Chariot. The Chariot is like, yo. The Chariot talks a lot about confidence, right? I feel like some of us are regaining our confidence and knowing that we have the power and the magic to overcome some things. I feel like with these rays coming from her solar plexus, um, it's going back into that leap of faith, that fool card, and be fool enough to let yourself go and see where it takes you and the perfection that comes out of that and the overcoming and just thinking back like all the stuff that you have endured up until this point and how much better you were for it. It was good for us. I mean, some of us go through things and they're yet tumultuous, but we gotta find it. We gotta find that silver lining, even when it hurts, because when we get through healing, then we'll know what the purpose was. When we finally allow ourselves to heal, forgive ourselves, forgive somebody else, then we will know what that purpose was. At least some aspect of it, of the story. You're gonna be like, oh, that's what it was. The Knight of Emotions, fleeting. The Knight of Emotions is cool too because damn, my lash going on. Okay. Sorry. The Knight of Emotion, it's something about being free, but still being grounded enough to just make a certain move. It might seem like it's impulsive to some people. Um, all I can say is slow down when you need to slow down, speed up when you need to speed up. I can't even really get it out in words. Slow down when you need to slow down, speed up when you need to speed up in the areas of the heart, in the areas of your compassion, your love. 2 cards. The Five of Voices and the Ten of Inspiration, or the Ten of Wands. So again, we had the Ten of Wands here, that things are moving very fast, and sometimes they're moving so fast that you feel like you're out of balance. And then the Five of Voices or the Five of Swords is like having that inner conflict. Having that inner conflict. I also feel too that we just have to continue to allow ourselves to balance in everything that's going on. I feel like when our vision becomes crossed, then we got to see what's in the middle, what's in the root of that. You know what I'm saying? We got to figure out what ground zero is again. We got to figure out where that is, how far we need to go back there to see what the root of some of the things that we go through. Page of Materials and the Nine of Inspiration. So with this, I'm just like, even though materials or pentacles deal with money or natural resources, I do feel like it's also talking about the messages that we get from spirit, the translations that we get. And then with the Nine of Inspiration, it's like you've overcome some things. You're building this bridge. You've gotten over it. So connecting the two, place value in the things that you've already accomplished. And you don't need anyone to tell you. or pat you on the back. Don't wait for that. I don't know why, but I want to read this Nine of, even though this is a different deck, I want to read it from this book. So bear with me, and then we're going to wrap up. I'm telling y'all this is long. I hope that it's helping, though. Please don't forget to comment in the comment box. All right, so it says you put a lot of work and energy into the situation. This card comes as a sign for you to actively protect what you created and earned. Have courage and believe in your ability and right to defend the fruit of your labors. Strengthen your resolve and don't give up. You possess the wisdom and stamina to bring the situation to an agreeable conclusion. However, it's important to open your mind to the assistance and points of views of others. The additional meanings could be prepared, physical strength, feeling of paranoia and tiredness. No, you tired, but you're tired because you have labored to get across this damn bridge. I don't even know if y'all can see that. And then there's a translation of people that are trying to either doubt you. They may not believe in the value of what you have or what you're trying to pursue, but it's not for them to believe. You got to know at the end of the day, you're twirling, boo. Twirl on. Okay. All right. Well, I think we're done here. I hope that you've enjoyed this message. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I look very forward to reading your comments if this has helped you in any way. Until we see each other again, ashe, ashe, ashe.